Hey there, so Brian here from Deckard & Company, and I'm doing a video test outside. Yeah. And what am I using? So I'm using my Sony ZV-E10. Phenomenal camera. Love this camera very much, very much. And what I ended up doing is I finally, after years of procrastination and, you know, all that good stuff, I bought the Sigma 16mm by f1.4 lens. Yes, so that's what I did. Yeah, finally did it. And loving this lens very much so, very much so. Right, Ash? Yeah. So what I'm doing here is I'm just gonna do a couple of quick tests outside in various places maybe, and we're gonna see what it does as far as the lighting goes, because as we know, with an aperture that this thing has, it can be very wide. So basically meaning it's going to let a lot of light in. So I want to see how the camera is going to auto adjust for that, because I like to use these cameras as simple as possible when I do these shoots, right? So I set it on intelligent auto kind of stuff, right? So as the lighting changes, the camera is going to make those adjustments automatically to hopefully give us the clearest and best picture possible. So let's see what it does. Yeah, so I think this is pretty good. And then also what I'm doing is I'm finding out exactly where I want to place my eyeballs, right? So what do I want to look at? So what I've discovered is if I look into the lens here, it looks like I'm looking above the camera, which doesn't look good. So now I'm focusing just below the lens. There's a spot on my tripod that I think just might be perfect. And I'm actually gonna take my glasses off and we're gonna look here at my eyeballs. And what we're looking at is I am looking just below the lens here. So we're looking just below the lens at the words small rig, because that is the tripod that I have. I have a small rig tripod and the head is, you know, it can swivel very easily with a nice little handle to do so. So there you go. So let's see what this looks like. And of course, what it sounds like. Of course, it's gonna be great sound because I'm using the DJI Wireless Mic 3, as you can see right here on me. Very small, square, works perfect, love it. And of course it's wireless. So let's check it out. Hey, Brian here again, this time in a different angle. The sun's coming from a different direction as we want to test everything out here. So what am I doing? So I'm giving this camera that I've had for years, the Sony ZV-E10, a work, right? I'm working it right now. I'm giving it some tests because I bought finally that Sigma 16mm lens, which I'm shooting with right now. So I'm wanting to see the different angles with the sun, just because we're outdoors, obviously, if you can't tell. But the sun is kind of directly over us, and we're using this tree here, which is just out the view here, as kind of a shield, right? So I'm using that as shade for this lens. I also have the hood on the lens, so it's kind of acting as a baseball cap. So it should be helping with those lens flares that you would see. Some people love those lens flares, which, hey, I get, you know, they actually do look pretty cool when you get those to happen. And I actually kind of like them, but I left the lens on here. So yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of step back here and take a look, see how this lens does. Sound should still be, of course, amazing because I'm using the Wireless Mic 3 by DJI. It's a fantastic, fantastic microphone system, right? I've had the 1, the 2, and the 3. Fantastic, yeah, fantastic. So here I am walking toward the camera here, and we're gonna take a look and see just what it looks like and what it sounds like. And of course, my eye placement. I'm still looking just below the lens here. So we're checking to see how this looks and how it sounds. So I'm gonna take my glasses off So here it is. I'm looking directly at the small rig lighting, which is just below the lens, to see if this is the proper placement for my eyes so that when I'm talking to the camera, it makes it look like I'm talking to you. So here it is, I'm talking into the lens. So we're gonna see what this looks like and kind of go from there. But like I said, I'm looking for proper eye placement, that when I'm talking to the camera, it makes it look like that I'm talking to you. So here it is, I'm talking directly into the lens. And here it is, I'm looking just slightly below the lens at the small rig lettering on the tripod. So let's see which one looks better. All right, let's check that out. Hey, Brian Deckard here, and this will be the third and final test of placement of this camera, because I'm testing out this lens, the 16mm by Sigma on this Sony ZV-E10. Love this camera, love this lens. Everything seems to be working out great. The first test that I did outdoors was gorgeous. So I'm hoping this one here is gonna be the same. So here it is, we're outside using the Sony ZV-E10 with the Sigma 16mm by f1.4 lens, fantastic. And of course the DJI Wireless Mic 3, which you can see right here. So here we are outside, kind of looking around. I'm gonna kind of come back here. Bougainvillea bush, absolutely gorgeous, yep. And yeah, so here we go. So once again, I am doing eye placement just below the lens. I'm looking at the small rig lighting that is on my tripod that comes down. So we're gonna see what this looks like, what it sounds like. And what I'm looking for is my eye placement. So once again, taking the glasses off, and let's see what this looks like. So I'm looking slightly below at the, slightly below the lens. I'm looking at the small rig lettering on the tripod to see if this looks like, when I'm looking into the camera, that I'm actually talking to you, the viewer. And this is me looking into the lens itself, right? So this is what it looks like with me looking into the lens. And before I tried it looking into the lens, it just looked like I was looking above the camera, which I didn't really like. So here it is looking at the small rig. There it is looking at the lens. So I'm gonna get a little closer and let's try it this way. So here it is looking at the lens. I'm talking directly into the lens, looking at the lens. And here it is, I'm looking at the small rig, just slightly below the lens. We're gonna see if this looks better. Make sure that I'm looking like I'm talking to you, the viewer. All right. With all that being said, let's check it out.